There are moments in life that feel so small, yet they change everything. Yesterday, I posted a video about my PCOS journey. No views, no comments, just a quiet little upload in the corner of the internet. But something shifted inside me. And that's why I'm here again. Speaking, sharing, breathing, and through this story. Even if no one is listening, because for the first time, this isn't about seen by others. It's about finally seeing myself. PCOS has been a constant background noise in my life. Some days it whispers, some days it roars, and some days, like today, I just want to sit with it, hold it gently and say, I'm trying. I'm still here. I'm not giving up. And this is my update, not the glamorous kind, not the transformation yet. Just the truth of living in a body that's trying its best, even when hormones says otherwise. Hormones are invisible, but they control so much of how I live. They shape my energy, my cravings, my emotions, my weight, my skin, and my thoughts. Some days, even my confidence. It's strange how something I can't see can change the way I see myself. My PCOS hormones come in waves. There are days when I feel stable, almost normal. Then there are days I wake up in a body that feels heavy, swollen, uncooperative. My face breaks out, my stomach bloats, my mood dips, and suddenly, everything feels 10 times harder than it has to be. You'd think after living with this for so long, I'd be used to it, but I'm not. Because every player feels new, unexpected, disruptive, like someone pressed reset on my progress without my consent. But yesterday, something changed, not my hormones. Those are still doing whatever they want. What changed was my relationship with myself. For the first time, I didn't hide, I didn't shrink, and I didn't pretend everything was fine. I spoke, honestly, openly, and even though nobody heard it, I did, and that is enough to shift a life. There is a strange kind of courage in posting something into silence. When you hit upload knowing no one might watch it, when there's no applause, no validation, no instant reward, only the quiet. But that quiet taught me something. It taught me that healing isn't loud. It doesn't always arrive with cheers or likes or views. Sometimes healing is just one person, and that is me. Daring to speak into a dark room, trusting that the echo will eventually reach someone who needed it. Yesterday, my video got no views, but I felt proud. Proud of the girl who pressed pause, even with shaky hands. Proud of the girl who decided her story was worth telling even no one was listening. Proud of the girl who wanted nothing more than to feel understood. And finally, just to understand herself first. That's why I'm here again, not because the world demanded an update, but because my heart did. The physical changes I'm learning to accept. My hormones have changed my body in ways that used to hurt me. I gained my weight again. My jeans feel tighter. My skin, especially my chin, keeps breaking out in painful, stubborn clusters. My cravings are louder than my discipline. My energy crashes even on days I sleep well. My cycle is unpredictable. Living with PCOS is like waking up in a body that doesn't always feel like mine. There was a time when these changes made me feel hopeless, when every new breakout felt like a personal failure, when every pound gained felt like proof that I wasn't trying enough, when every hormonal mood swing made me feel unlovable, unstoppable, difficult. But something softened in me yesterday. Maybe it was hearing myself speak honestly for the first time. Maybe it was the relief of admitting that PCOS is not my fault. Maybe it was realizing that healing starts with self-kindness, not self-criticism. Today, I'm learning to look at my bloated belly and say, you're doing your best. I'm learning to look at my acne and whisper, you're healing. I'm learning to look at my body and think, you're not broken, you're adapting. This body is fighting battles I cannot see, and it deserves my compassion. The mental side no one talks about enough. There's a mental side to PCOS that no blood test can measure. The guilt, the frustration, the exhaustion of always trying, the fear that nothing will ever change, the sadness of losing control of your own body, the pressure to pretend everything is fine. My hormones have a way of pulling me into emotions without warning. Sometimes I wake up motivated, sometimes I wake up empty, sometimes I felt like crying for no reason, sometimes I snap at the smallest things, sometimes I isolate myself, sometimes I feel too much, sometimes I feel nothing at all. And for a long time, I thought this made me weak. But yesterday's video helped me understand something important. My emotions are not failures, they are symptoms. They are valid, understandable, and part of my biology, part of my journey, part of me. And maybe instead of fighting my emotions, I can learn to support myself through them. Maybe healing isn't about being strong all the time. Maybe it's about being gentle in the moments that I feel weak. Why sharing my story matters, even if no one watches it. There's a question I keep asking myself. Why share something so personal when the world might never see it? Yesterday, I found my answer because the act of sharing validates my experience. Because speaking out loud makes the pain feel lighter. Because putting my story into words makes me feel alive again. Because my voice matters, even if my audience is just me. Because healing doesn't depend on going viral, it depends on being honest. Because can be isolating. It makes you feel like no one understands what's happening inside you. It makes you feel hidden, invisible, misunderstood. But I realize something powerful. I don't have to stay silent to survive it. I don't have to pretend I'm okay every day. I don't have to be perfect to be worthy of healing. Yesterday's video didn't get views, but it opened the door inside me, a door I'm walking through. Again, to a new kind of motivation. Today, my hormones didn't magically fix themselves. My acne didn't disappear. My weight didn't drop. My cravings didn't vanish. My cycle didn't suddenly regulate. But I woke up motivated, and that's something I don't take lightly. Motivation doesn't always comes from progress. Sometimes it comes from honesty. Sometimes it comes from acceptance. Sometimes it comes from telling your story out loud and realizing it still has hope written all over it. I'm motivated not because things are perfect, but because I'm finally choosing myself. Because I finally speaking my truth. Because I'm finally allowing myself to start again without shame. And maybe this time I'll be a little kinder to myself. Maybe this time I'll listen to my body instead of fighting it. Maybe this time I'll heal in a way that feels like love, not punishment. The days that I don't show online. There are days I never talk about. The days when my body feels heavier than my thoughts. The days I look at myself in the mirror and I don't recognize the girl staring back. The days when nothing fits, nothing feels right, nothing seems possible. The days my hormones won't let me get out of bed without carrying the weight of 1,000 invisible emotions. These days don't get recorded. They don't get posted. They don't get shared. They don't get edited into a reel with soft music and aesthetic shots. They exist in the shadows, the quiet places of my life, where PCOS feels the loudest. I don't show the moment I stand in front of my closet, trying on 5 outfits, and still feeling uncomfortable in all of them. I don't show the days when acne makes me feel like hiding, when the bloat makes me look months pregnant, even when I barely eat. I don't show the spirals when a small craving turns into overeating. and guilt turns into tears. I don't show the mood swings, the ones that hit without warning, leaving me feeling confused, angry, sad, overwhelmed, all at the same time. I don't show the loneliness, the kind that doesn't come from being alone, but from fighting something that many people don't understand. But these days are real, they are part of the story, they're part of me, and maybe that's why I'm speaking now. Because someone out there might be living these hidden days too. Someone might need to hear that they are not weak, they are not dramatic, and they are not failing. They are human, and they're trying, and that's enough. For years, I blamed myself for everything PCOS put me through. Every pound I gained, every mood swing I felt, every breakout, every irregular cycle, every craving I couldn't control, every moment I feel tired or unmotivated. I blame myself for something I didn't choose, something I didn't cause, something I didn't deserve. PCOS is not a punishment, it's a condition, a biological imbalance, a hormonal storm happening beneath the surface. But try explaining that to a heart that feels like a failure. I used to tell myself, you're lazy, you let yourself go, you're not disciplined enough. Why can't you just control your cravings? Why don't you look like her? Why you can't fix this? Those words hurt more than any symptoms. But yesterday, when I shared my story for the first time, something softened in me, something healed, something whispered, be kinder, you're doing the best you can. So today, I want to practice forgiveness, not the dramatic kind, just the quiet, daily forgiveness that slowly softens the sharp edges inside me. Forgiveness sounds like my body is trying its best. It deserves compassion. I'm allowed to heal at my own pace, and I'm not broken. I'm learning. I'm still growing, and I'm still here. PCOS didn't take my worth. It never could, but it took time for me to see that. Ones that control my heart. PCOS is not just a physical condition. I know it's emotional, deeply emotional. Hormones that don't just control weight or cycles. They control feelings, thoughts, reactions, desires, fears. Some days, my emotions feel like a storm, big, loud, and overwhelming. Other days, everything just feels muted, quiet, numb, like the world is happening around me and not to me. I've cried over nights that never used to bother me. I've snapped at people I love for no reason. I felt lonely even when surrounded by people. And yes, I've been excited one moment and discouraged the next. I felt beautiful in the morning and insecure by afternoon. I don't know if PCOS does that. It messes with your emotional stability. It plays with your sense of self, it rewrites your reactions, and it shakes your confidence. But there's the part no one teaches us. Having emotional fluctuations doesn't mean I'm unstable. It means my hormones are intense, my feelings are valid, and my body is trying to communicate with me. I'm learning to sit with my emotions instead of running from them, to pause before reacting, to breathe before spiraling, to remind myself that my feelings are not my identity. They are temporary waves, and waves always settle. Standing in front of a mirror with PCOS is a unique kind of courage. The mirror shows things I wish I didn't have to see. The acne I try to cover, the bloating that never seems to go away, the weight gain I can't fully control, the dark patches, the hormonal fluctuation itch into my skin. But the mirror also shows strength, the kind I forget I have, the kind that doesn't show up in before and after photos, the kind that comes from surviving invisible battles. The mirror shows a girl who didn't give up when she wanted to, a girl who woke up even on the days she didn't feel worthy, a girl who pressed record even when she didn't believe in her voice, a girl who shared her story even when no one's watching. I used to look at myself and see flaws. Now I'm learning to see resilience, not perfection, not transformation, just resilience. And maybe that's kind of beauty, the kind that's born from endurance. It is a loneliness of an invisible condition. PCOS can't feel lonely because so much of it is invisible. People don't see the hormonal fatigue, that makes simple tasks feel heavy. They don't see the cravings that feel uncontrollable or the guilt that follows. They don't see the way bloating can ruin your whole mood. They don't understand why you're tired even after a full night's sleep. They don't understand why you're moody even when nothing is wrong. They don't understand why losing weight feels impossible no matter how hard you try. People see the outside, but PCOS lives inside my hormones, inside my metabolism, inside my emotions, inside my self-image. There were moments when I feel misunderstood even by the people closest to me. Not because they didn't care, but because it's hard to explain a battle that happens beneath the surface. When I posted my video, I felt something new, a connection. Even if no one watched it, even if the view count stayed at zero, the connection wasn't with the world, it was with myself. With the version of me I had ignored for so long, the version of me that wanted to be heard, even in silence. Loneliness feels different when you learn to be on your own side. There is a part that I used to hide the most, and it is my relationship with food. Because messes with hunger signals, cravings come out of nowhere. Fullness feels delayed, sugar hits harder. Discipline battles biology, and biology usually wins. I used to shame myself for this. I used to think I had no self-control. But because cravings are hormonal, not weak, they're chemical, not moral. They're symptoms, not choices. There were nights when I ate more than I planned and cried afterward because I felt powerless. There were mornings when I woke up bloated and embarrassed. There were weeks when I tried dieting so harshly that I ended up binge eating even harder. But today, I want to speak to that girl who punished herself for things she didn't cause. You are not the problem. Your hormones are complicated. Your body is trying, and you deserve kindness, not punishment. I'm learning to break the cycle. Eat gently, move gently, speak gently, and heal gently. My relationship with food doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be compassionate. People often talk about weight and acne when they talk about PCOS, but the symptom that hurt me the most was the feeling of losing control of my identity, my emotions, my body image, my routine, my sense of femininity. PCOS made me feel disconnected from myself, like my body and mind were not on the same team, like I was constantly trying to catch up to a version of me that I couldn't reach anymore. And that disconnection, that quiet grief, is something we don't talk about enough. I felt something reconnect inside me, not fully, not magically, but gently, like a small piece returning home. Speaking my truth made me feel whole again, and that's maybe why I'm here, to keep putting the pieces back, one story at a time, one update at a time, one breath at a time. There are small things that hurt, even if I never say it out loud. Trying on clothes that don't fit the same way, seeing old pictures of myself and wondering why I can't look like that anymore. Waking up bloated on a day when I plan to feel confident. People commenting on my weight even when they mean well. My skin breaking out the moment I started feeling my glow again. Hearing others say, you just need to eat less or just exercise more. As if because that's simple. Feeling like I have to explain myself, justify my symptoms, defend my efforts, and pretend that I'm okay. These little things accumulate, they wear you down. They make you feel misunderstood, but they also make you stronger in ways the world can see. And sometimes I forget that strength comes from surviving the invisible things too. But here I am, still trying, still learning, still healing, still showing up in the small ways that matter. PCOS hasn't made my life easier, but it has made me more self-aware, more compassionate, more resilient, more patient with myself. It taught me that healing doesn't always happen publicly. Most of it happens in the quiet, in the slow, in the late night reflections, in the early morning courage, in the unrecorded moments. And if yesterday's video taught me anything, it's this: My journey is worth sharing, even if no one is watching. Because healing isn't about the audience, it's about the voice, my voice, the one I silenced for too long. This is me learning to speak again. Healing with PCOS is not a straight line. It's not a before and after photo. It's not a transformation video set to inspirational music. It's slow, quiet, sometimes invisible. The word celebrates quick results, dramatic changes, overnight transformations, and fast progress. But healing with PCOS doesn't look like that. It looks like choosing water instead of soda, saying no to stress when you can, taking supplements when you don't feel anything yet, forgiving yourself when your hormones win. It looks like trying quietly, repeatedly, and awkwardly. There's nothing glamorous about slow healing, but there's something beautiful about it. It's real, it's human, it's sustainable. It's filled with tiny choices that eventually become a new life. Yesterday, when I posted my video, I didn't expect anything, but I felt something shift inside me. A soft kind of hope, a gentle reminder that healing doesn't have to be fast and to be meaningful. Sometimes healing is slow because the body is trying to protect you, because the body is learning, because the body is doing its best with what it has, and maybe slow progress still progress. PCOS taught me lessons I never wanted to learn. Lessons I didn't ask for, but sometimes I needed. Here are the ones that shaped me the most. My body is not my enemy. Even when it's unpredictable, my body is trying its best to survive, to adjust, and to protect me. I can't shame myself into healing. Self-hatred never helped my hormones. Self-criticism never regulated my cycle. And self-punishment never cleared my skin. Only compassion did. And progress isn't linear. Just because I'm doing better today doesn't mean I won't struggle tomorrow, and that's okay. Healing is messy, human, non-linear, and eating less is not the answer. For years, I starved myself trying to be disciplined. All it did was damage my metabolism and worsen my cravings. My body needed nourishment, not deprivation. And sometimes stress the most dangerous one. The more I worried, the worse my symptoms got. The more I panicked, the more my body rebelled. Because fatigue is real, down to the bones. Resting doesn't make me weak. It makes me capable of trying again tomorrow. I just need consistency, patience, and self-respect. These lessons hurt when I learned them, but they also saved me. I used to tie my confidence to how my body looked on that day. If my skin was clear, if my stomach was flat, if my weight was lower, if my outfit the way I wanted. I felt confident, I felt acceptable, I felt enough. But on my bad hormone days, confidence disappeared completely, like it was something borrowed instead of something owned. PCOS made me feel like confidence had conditions I could never meet consistently. I asked myself a difficult question. Why is my confidence only allowed to exist on days when my hormones cooperate? Why do I let temporary symptoms define my worth? Why do I punish myself for things outside my control? Confidence shouldn't disappear just because my hormones flare. Confidence shouldn't vanish because my acne shows. Confidence shouldn't collapse because I feel swollen or tired or moody. Confidence should be internal, a quiet belief in who I am, not how I look. And today, I'm learning to build confidence that is hormone-proof and self-owned. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. PCOS comes with something I don't hear people talk about enough: overthinking about my weight, overthinking about my symptoms, overthinking about what people might think, overthinking about food, overthinking about cravings, overthinking about my future fertility, overthinking about every decision I make. PCOS gives you too much time inside your own mind. I used to lie awake at night thinking, what if my body never stabilizes? What if I can't control my own symptoms? What if I always felt like this? What if I'm the problem? These symptoms aren't dramatic, they're normal for anyone living with hormonal imbalance. But yesterday, as I watched my video uploaded, I felt something I haven't felt in a long time, and that is release. Like as I set down something heavy that I'd been carrying for years. Sometimes the act of speaking is the beginning of letting go. And today, I'm letting go of the spiral, slowly, imperfectly, but intentionally. One of the reasons I stayed silent for so long was fear of judgment, fear of people misunderstanding my body, fear of people thinking I'm not trying hard enough, fear of being solved, just lose weight, as if PCOS can be solved in one sentence, fear of hearing, why are you gaining weight again? Why is your skin breaking out? Didn't you exercise? Are you pregnant? You look bloated. Words that cut deeper than most people realize. So I stayed quiet. I hid my symptoms. I hid my insecurities. I hid my truth. But here's the surprising part. Yesterday when I posted my video, no one judged me because no one saw it yet. And instead of feeling discouraged, I felt relieved, safe, empowered. For once, I spoke without expecting validation. I shared without fearing criticism. I created without dreading opinions. I realized that healing sometimes begins when the world is silent. There are days when PCOS knocks me flat, the hormonal crashes, sudden waves of fatigue that make my bones feel heavy, moments when I feel like I'm sinking even while lying down. Those days look like cancelled plans, honest apologies, and long, guilt-filled naps. The world sees inconsistency, I see survival, because fatigue is not simple. It's a shutdown, a full body warning that something inside needs rest, and I'm learning to respect that. Yesterday's video reminded me that honoring my body is not weakness and it's wisdom. And motivation is complicated when you live with PCOS. There are days I feel unstoppable. I clean, I work out, I eat well, I feel aligned and disciplined. And there are days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Not because I'm lazy, that's because my hormones are off balance. My energy is unstable, my emotions are heavy, my body feels foreign. For so long, I blame myself for inconsistency. But PCOS changes the rules of discipline. Motivation isn't the spark, it's the fire you rebuild every time hormones blow it out. It comes back. Because I bring it back. I feel different kind of motivation, a pure one, a quiet one, a sustainable one, not fueled by pressure but by self-understanding. And that kind of motivation lasts longer. My relationship with my body has been complicated. Some days I feel grateful for it, admiring its softness and strength, its persistence. Other days I feel betrayed by it, angry at the symptoms, frustrated by the bloating, resentful of the acne, upset about the weight. But yesterday something changed. I realized my body is not the villain. It's the victim of hormonal imbalance. It's the survivor of internal storms. It's the warrior fighting every day without recognition. And it's my body that I should fight with it, not against it. I should nourish it, respect it, speak kindly to it, move it with love, rest it without guilt. My body is not perfect, but it's mine and it deserves loyalty. Yes, because healing isn't made of big victories. It's made of tiny, unnoticed wins, the kind that don't get applauded but change your life slowly. Like drinking water before reaching for coffee, like choosing protein over sugary snack. These tiny wins stack up eventually. They become new habits, new patterns, and new stability. Sometimes progress looks like a calm heart after telling the truth. For a very long time, I carried shame. Heavy, quiet, suffocating shame. Shame for my acne, shame for my weight gain, shame for my irregular periods, shame for my cravings, shame for my lack of energy, shame for not looking like other girls, shame for being different. And PCOS makes you feel like you're failing, even when you're trying to be your hardest, because your body doesn't respond the way you want it to be, the way the way society expects it to be. But yesterday when I posted my video, I realized something important. Shame loses its power. The moment you speak your truth, I'm not ashamed of having PCOS, not anymore. PCOS is not a character of flaw. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not a moral failing. It's not a sign of weakness. It's simply a condition a hormonal imbalance, a medical reality, and a part of me, but not all of me. And today, I'm learning to walk with less of shame, a more self-love. Even if no one watched my video, there was something comforting about knowing that other women out there are waking up with the same struggles, the same bloating, the same hormonal acne, the same cravings, the same exhaustion, and the same emotional waves. The same feeling of losing control and trying to get it back. There is something deeply human about shared struggles. For years, I felt so alone in this journey. I thought I was the only one fighting cravings at midnight. PCOS didn't just change my body. It changed the way I saw myself. Before PCOS symptoms intensified, I used to feel feminine, confident, comfortable in my skin. I didn't overthink my weight. I didn't obsess over breakouts. I didn't worry about cravings or cycles. I didn't question my body's stability. But PCOS brought changes that felt like losing pieces of myself. The girl who loved dressing up started avoiding mirrors, and the girl who felt beautiful started hiding behind loose clothes. The girl who felt stable started feeling unpredictable. It was like a grieving version of me that I couldn't go back. There were moments when PCOS made me withdraw from the people around me. I canceled plans. I'm not angry. My healing didn't start when my symptoms got better. It started the day I decided to give myself a grace. People underestimate how deeply acne affects us. Hormonal acne isn't just skin deep, it reaches into your confidence, your identity, and your mood. And because fatigue is not regular tiredness, it's heaviness that sits inside your bones. It's a fog that slows your thoughts. It's a weight that makes your ordinary task feel overwhelming. I used to think I was just lazy, but lazy people don't want to get better. I would say that I'm still learning. My hormones behave, how they rise, fall, spike, and crash. For a long time, I thought acceptance meant defeat. That if I accepted my PCOS, I was giving up the fight. I was deciding that things would never improve. I was surrendering to symptoms that made me feel small and powerless. But acceptance isn't surrender. Acceptance is understanding. Today, as I recorded this update, I want to make myself a promise. I will not give up on me. Not on my body, not on my health, not on my mindset, not on my healing, not on my future. I will show up for myself even on the days I feel lost. I will care for myself even when I don't feel motivated. I will love myself even when my hormones challenge me. This is my promise to keep going with grace, with honesty, and with resilience. There is no expectations, no audience, no guarantee that anyone would watch. But it will change everything. Today, I feel more connected to myself, more aware of my journey, more honest about my struggles, more hopeful about my healing. My hormones are still unpredictable. My acne is still here. My weight is still fluctuating. My emotions are still uneven. My journey is still messy, but so am I. And that's okay. This isn't a perfect story. This isn't a miracle transformation. This isn't a cure. But it is a beginning of a real one. A beginning built on truth, courage, and self-love. If no one ever watches my videos, I will still keep speaking because healing is personal, healing is honest, and healing is slow. Healing is mine. And this is me living with PCOS, learning myself again, loving myself harder, and showing up one quiet day at a time. And this is only the beginning.